Hi, welcome to Happier Ladies, a podcast where we discuss all things related to the Happier and Happier in Hollywood podcasts.
We're sisters
and super fans
who can't get enough happier.
So we created our own podcast to keep the conversation going.
I'm Malika Amandi, a SoCal native living in Western Massachusetts, a new mom, and an entrepreneur. I'm here with my sister, Azizi Williams.
That's me. I live and work in the LA area. I'm a not-so-new mom, and I'm an education professional in the independent school world.
Azizi, I have a weather update for you.
Oh boy, what's the weather?
It's been crazy. It was so cold last Monday. It was windy and it felt like, 20 degrees. And then a few days later, it was 60 degrees.
Wow.
It's a big deal for me in my life.
Okay.
Because I'm walking to my office from the car. It's like a 12-minute walk for me, 12 to 15 minutes. But I'm outside and the day starts at like 30 degrees. And then in the middle of the day, it's 65. How do you dress for that?
I don't know. I can't even imagine 20-degree weather or 30-degree weather. I can't imagine that. Is there precipitation happening? Is it just the air is cold, or are there other things happening?
Sometimes. It varies. It's different every day.
Calm down, Malika. Okay? You're talking about the weather so much these days. I don't know what's going on.
I know.
Every time we talk, it's about the weather, I feel like. And I can't quite relate. I'm sorry.
I know. I'm just,
It sounds exhausting. And I will say, we've had some variation also. Our swings out here in LA are about 10 degrees, maybe 15.
That's great.
And then there's some wind and there's some rain, but I don't think it's as dramatic as what you're describing.
It's not.
But I will say, I saw on Gretchen's Instagram that she had a whole post about snow and how lovely the snow is. So maybe this is an East Coast thing to just really get into the weather.
The thing is, it's not a choice. This is happening to us every day.
That's right.
This is now my third time coming around to this particular season. I remember this from last year. It's the unpredictability day to day. That's what makes me feel a little bonkers, because it just keeps changing, and cold, hot, whatever it is, I can settle into it and then you know what to expect. But it's this changing on a dime for like a month that is very unsettling. And it's exciting too, I'll say that. It keeps it interesting. But I have felt this way twice before now, and it's the 2 other years that I've lived here at this time of the year.
So it is predictable in a way.
It's predictable in that it's not going to be predictable.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Well, you shared with me this meme that is so funny. I think we should share it with listeners about all the New England weather that you experience, because out here we have maybe 2 seasons, maybe 3. It's like it gets a little cool, and then sometimes there's some rain, and then it's warm for a few days, and then it's really hot. And that's about it. That's the only thing that happens here. But you get all kinds of variations. Maybe there is something to talking about the weather. I'll take back my side eye. But I don't think we can keep talking about it on this podcast. I just think we need to move on to other topics. Okay.
Okay, I'll do my best. No promises.
I'll hold you to that. So Malika, what happened on Happier this week?
On Happier and More Happier, episode 473, Liz and Gretchen discuss the value of a loose ends day. They discuss a listener's suggestion for birthday plans with friends, and they have a conversation with Eliza Pressman about parenting strategies. On More Happier, they recommend a personal finance show called Financial Audit. Gretchen unveils her new tool called the Happiness Helpline, and they catch up over the documentary The Greatest Night in Pop. So many good tidbits on both episodes for both shows. I think the Loose Ends Day sounds so lovely and so needed. I think that's a lot of my life is loose ends, and I like to call that like a life admin day. And I got that from this YouTuber Michelle LB. We'll share in the help notes. She actually has a whole playlist of life admin days where you basically follow her doing her loose ends throughout the day. And so if you're doing that at home, it's kind of keeps you company. It's a good thing to have on the background, somebody else being productive. And I really like that. They kind of talked about maybe even having a standing loose ends appointment for yourself.
Mhm.
on a Friday afternoon or something. I think that's a cool concept. It'd be nice to work that in.
So on this YouTube channel, is she talking to you or is it quiet? It's like just music playing while someone else is doing paperwork.
It's like a vlog. So she's actively talking like, now I've got to do this. She's from New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
She edits it. So she's going from one thing to the next around her house or running around town, but basically just describing the thing that she's got to work on and going through some. And then you get to see her kind of check off her list, which feels very satisfying.
Gets you in the headspace. I'll try that. I wonder if Gretchen has a loose ends bingo card because that might
Ooh.
make it more fun. I'm loving the bingo card on the Happier Project website. And maybe there's a loose ends bingo card that we could follow or that I could follow to make it more fun. As I thought about it, I take care of my loose ends when I'm getting ready for bed. I go into the bathroom.
Mm.
Maybe I'll take like 20 minutes to just be on my phone before I get in the shower. And I take care of as many things as I can on the phone, like in spurts. I don't get a whole day, but I do have spurts that are somewhat predictable where I try to take care of things. Yeah, that sounds luxurious. I agree. Having a loose ends day.
That's like my favorite thing to do at a coffee shop is to have like 2 hours of uninterrupted time just to work on my things on my computer by myself.
Yeah, I think when I'm in those spaces, work creeps up and I tend to just do work. So holding myself to not work and do all the other bits, that's my work. It's my challenge. That's my challenge. I really resonated with Eliza Pressman. There were so many things that she shared that I could relate to or things that I suggest to parents also. And I thought it was really lovely how she ended the interview when they asked her if she had a happiness hack or if she had a life hack. And she talked about these rounds that she does with her children or with her family, just asking what makes you happy. And I thought that was very elegant. It's very simple, but effective. And I thought, Malika, let's try it. Do you want to try to do a couple rounds of what makes you happy?
Let's do it. What makes you happy?
Tea. Malika, what makes you happy?
Chocolate. Azizi, what makes you happy?
Fuzzy socks. Malika, what makes you happy?
My son Indigo.
Oh,
Azizi, what makes you happy?
I have to say my kids now. My kids, Lance and I, and my husband, Grayson. Okay, Malika, what makes you happy?
My husband Norm. Azizi, what makes you happy?
My iPad. Malika, what makes you happy?
My Hobonichi planner. Azizi, what makes you happy?
Air conditioning. Malika, what makes you happy?
Keeping up with Liz and Gretchen and Sarah on their podcast.
Yay! I think we should end it there. I agree. That makes me happy also.
That's fun. I don't think you can do that without smiling and feeling happy by the end of that activity.
It's another form of gratitude. Instead of saying, what am I grateful for? When you reframe it, what makes me happy, it feels more accessible for some reason. I love that.
One other thing that they talked about on More Happier got me thinking of all of my wheels turning, and that was their conversation around Quincy Jones, inspired from the documentary, The Greatest Night in Pop, which I haven't seen yet, but of course it's on my list now. And I just love their conversation about leadership and what makes a good leader, or being able to observe his leadership style from the documentary. And I love hearing about people's leadership styles, and I also love being a student of leadership or hearing other people who are students of leadership to hear their take on things. And I think that's one of the best, most exciting things about leadership is that you can't max out on it. If that's what you are working on, or if that's what you're curious about or aspire to, like, you'll never be done with learning about leadership. And so even if you feel like you're at a level 10, your 10 gets 10er. There's always room to keep going. And that's really exciting. I'm excited to see that for myself as it plays out in the film. And it also reminded me of The Defiant Ones, which is a 4-part series. I think it's on Hulu now. It came out on HBO originally, and it's about the relationship between Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre. And if you love music documentaries, this is a really good one. And our father, shout out, daddy, Steve Williams, was a producer on it and actually won a Grammy. It's a quality documentary. I love it because it gets into the nitty-gritty of what a producer does, what a music producer does, which is very mysterious and essential, but not many people can actually describe their role. And so you get to see, particularly with Jimmy Iovine, all of the musicians that he's influenced and discovered and kind of brought out their best work over decades. And I had never even heard of him before I saw this film, but I knew of almost every musician that he worked with. If you like that kind of storytelling, then I would definitely recommend that series.
It was quite impressive. And just going back to the conversation between Gretchen and Liz, I really appreciate hearing Liz talk about it now. I think she said this to Gretchen, who hadn't seen it yet.
Right.
I'm primed to look for that also. And I may have missed that initially. So I do really appreciate hearing them talk about movies and resources and what they took away from it. It doesn't spoil it. It just kind of primes me for what to look for when that's something maybe that wouldn't have gotten on my radar before. And as we were talking about this, I'm just curious, Malika, do you remember We Are the World?
Yeah, I do. I was young, but I remember hearing it and seeing the video, or I can imagine their faces, the stars grouped around microphones.
You were like a baby back then, right?
Wow. Somehow it's in my psyche.
Okay. Maybe you caught it later. Because it was a long time ago, but even Quincy Jones and Back on the Block, that's iconic. And we listened to that, talk about CDs, like so many times. So all of the figures in that movie were a huge presence in my life when I was a kid. So even just for that, I'm looking forward to watching it.
Azizi, what happened on Happier in Hollywood?
On Happier in Hollywood, episode 357, Sarah and Liz talked about the importance of an immersive research experience. They give updates on lessons learned from their No Spend February, and Sarah shares an app for personal organization. I think it was called Maple. Malika, what did you take away from this episode?
I really resonated with the conversation around online shopping. Liz has talked about this in Happier as well in a previous episode, kind of the excitement that comes from putting things in your cart online. And I realized for me, the thing that I do like that is Pinterest, organizing things onto boards. That feels like shopping to me. Like, even though I'm not buying anything, I'm just kind of picking from the droves of whatever the algorithm gives me and then like putting some things in my own bucket. That feels like it's the same kind of muscle, and it's a very satisfying experience. Even if I don't look at the boards very often, I think that sorting is just like a primal urge.
Definitely an ode to Pinterest because it's so fun to use and it does feel like you're capturing things even though you're not buying them. However, I am like Liz and I like to curate a cart online. We talked about what's your sport, and I would say this is in the category of sport for me. There is something about curating a basket and like really going through picking the things. What would you wear? But then also I try to figure out how can I get this as cheaply as possible? And when I put in the code, how much cheaper does it get? Even though I don't buy it, most of the time I don't buy it. I will leave it there. Maybe I'll think about it. Maybe I'll get back to it later, but it's just the saying, how much could I get? And how much would I enjoy these products and this combination of things and getting the deal? The deal part is the important part of it. So I completely get it. And mostly I don't buy what I put in carts, but just browsing is is a way that I like to spend my time.
So when do you let it go? Like, when do you close the window?
Oh, this is funny. So if you were to look at my phone at the internet, like the Safari browser, there'd be like 50 different windows open. But I changed the settings so that it just automatically closes after 2 weeks. So that way the number of windows doesn't get out of hand. Because I just opened a new window. I have a problem. But it's not hurting anyone, this problem. Really, it stems from the email. So you get the email and it's like inviting you to look, and then you look, and then you start putting things in baskets. And then I just go about and do something else and just you leave it there. It's not that hard. But it can be a time suck. So I appreciated Liz's take on what she learned about herself in the No Spend February and is the amount of time that this can take. So that's why I instituted after my no spend January that I have to leave my phone plugged in away from me when I go to bed, and I have to cut it off at 11 because I'll be up until the wee hours in the morning with it. So many good learnings.
Good learnings.
So we're going to take a break, and when we get back, we're going to give our Happiness Project Revisited update.
Azizi, how's your dinner game these days?
Well, Malika, I used to struggle with what to cook for dinner.
You're cooking now?
Okay. Actually, my husband used to struggle with what to make for dinner. I mean, meal planning, grocery lists, yuck. But then we found Prep Dish. It's a weekly meal planning service that tells you exactly what to cook. And now they've partnered with Instacart, so your grocery list becomes a ready-to-go online cart.
Ooh, what's in your cart, Azizi?
All of the Prep Dish ingredients, plus I can add energy drinks, chili crisp, lipstick, whatever, and check out in just a few clicks. Shopping online is so fun. The meals are family-friendly, healthy, and super easy to prep. Dinner is easy to make, and now we look forward to new tasty meals.
Prep Dish is offering our listeners 2 weeks free. Just head to prepdish.com/happierladies to sign up. Again, that's prepdish.com/happierladies.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
Okay, we're back. So let's check in on our Happiness Project Revisited. This is the month of March, which is about organization. And as I was going through the playbook, I want to first say that I get the playbook now. I think back in February when we did our recap, I was a little confused about how to use the playbook and how was I supposed to pace it. But then I realized in March that she lays it out week by week. It's very clear what you're supposed to do when. And so I just want to go back and say, I'm sorry, I missed that part of the playbook, but it's very clearly laid out for you. So
Gretchen has thought of most things.
I mean, come on. How could we doubt Gretchen? She has thought of everything, including, hey, just follow the directions and you'll know how to get through this work together. So as we go through March, we've done a little bit of thinking. And so I'm curious, Malika, how do you feel about this month?
Well, I feel hopeful. I think it's mid-March as we're having this conversation. So I think I am glad that there's the tracks or the way the resolutions are kind of lining up here is that you can do like a longer term one or a short term one. So I have picked my bedroom closet to do as like a short term, just going to sprint, just going to get it done. And this time I want to be ruthless about what stays in there because I feel like the last time I cleaned it, I organized it, but there was a lot of stuff in there that I still didn't actually use. I did get rid of some things, but it just made it so that it got messy again. And I'm in a situation where I've got a pile of clothes and nothing to wear. There's a lot of stuff in there that doesn't fit right still, or it's got a stain on it, and it still doesn't feel as functional as it could be. So I feel like this is good timing because the seasons are changing anyway, so this is a good time to transition the closet. I have to put winter things away. I have a lot of question marks on my shoes because of my foot journey, but I think I need to start over there too and just be really realistic about the shoes that I'm not going to wear again or that are not helpful for my feet. And I'm looking forward to going a little bit simpler this month. So one of the things that I shared about February is that I had a lot of ideas and none of them panned out in the way I wanted them to. So I feel like this month I want to have a really solid win. And that is like the closet, P1 closet. And then I have a P2, but closet, I think I'll get the most joy from just the before and after of that. The other piece, and this is more of an ongoing thing, but it's fitting into this theme of organization. And I've talked about, this is on my 24 for 24 list, is my physical mail workflow. So I have consulted with my husband, Norm, and he is very good about opening the mail and he does not have a problem opening my mail. And so we have like a shared digital task manager. So we're going to try a system. We're doing a pilot program where as he's opening the mail, he will take a picture of the things that pertain to me and add it to our shared task manager. And I feel much more confident that I can handle things digitally than the physical mail. So that is like more of a mental clutter piece that has been a stumbling block. And I feel really hopeful about both of those things, the mail piece and the closet piece. Of course, we'll check in later, but that's my game plan.
Wow. Okay. I have so many thoughts about all of that. First, you said P1. Does this mean project? Are we abbreviating project? Or does that mean something else?
Priority one.
Priority one. Okay. You can't just start using this jargon without discussing it with me first. So you have P1 and then you have P2. And I love that be ruthless is, I think, the theme. That's our slogan for this month. It's be ruthless. I love that. So when you're going about your projects, you're going to remember be ruthless. And I think I can borrow that too. I like that. And I also like that you and your husband discussed your P2 priority, which was the mail. And that reminds me of what Gretchen said about chores, and that one person's chore is not another person's chore. So that's perfect that Norm's like, I can do that. That doesn't bother me at all. And that you guys were able to coordinate how to move forward with this mail obstacle that you've been experiencing. And I also love a pilot. If you know me, you know. That I am all about the pilot. Let's just test this out. Let's start small and see how it goes. And I think that's a great way into this arrangement that you're working on. So that's fantastic. Be ruthless.
Thank you. Azizi, what is your plan?
So I am a sprinter. I also want to just do one or two big things and then just be done with it. Like dedicate a day, get it done, and then feel if you could see the results right away and feel really good about it. And I wanted to go the physical track. I know there was this mental track also, but physically I want to organize my hall closet, which I've been talking about forever. I think it was on my 23 for 23 and I didn't do it. So hall closet, I want to finally tackle. It's kind of that closet that's got the wrapping paper and it's got the pens and pencils and it's got birthday cards and the camping stuff is in there somewhere somehow.
Wow.
It's an awkward closet. So it's deep, but it doesn't have a lot of shelves. And that's a challenge. I'm going to resist the urge to buy a bunch of things for the closet organization project and try to stick to what I have, but that's P1. And then P2 is my living room office, which maybe I'll call it the loffice. If Sarah has a cloffice, can I have a loffice?
Of course you can.
So my loffice is a corner in my living room where I work and have my desk and a bookshelf, but the bookshelf's kind of a hot mess behind me. When I'm on Zooms, I try to hide things so you can't really see the hot mess behind me where I'm sitting, but it shouldn't be a hot mess. I should just attend to it. So that's P2. And luckily I have spring break coming up and I don't have a lot of plans. So that's when I'm going to take care of it. However, you said in the last episode that you'd be willing to get on Zoom with me and we can organize together. Yeah. So I think what we should do in our Be Ruthless organization sprint is take pictures of the before of the zone that we're going to tackle, and then we should tackle it together, at least start together. I know we may not be able to be on Zoom the entire time, and then we can check in with each other about the after. And that way we're keeping each other accountable. How's that sound?
Yes, I need it. Let's do it.
Great. And actually, I was listening to the audio from the Happiness Project Revisited, Gretchen's introduction, and she talked about how having someone else with you can inspire you to persist, to kind of go deeper and go past where you're comfortable with your organization. And also it helps with decision fatigue. So you can ask someone else, what should I do with this? What do you think? You know, should I throw this out, so that you don't have to hold all those decisions? It's fun to have someone else with you. So I think that's what we should do.
All right. And I'm looking forward to the text reminders. I didn't sign up for those for February or January. So I think that's going to be a fun element of the whole program to kind of feel in the vibe and like the energy of clutter clearing and organization for the whole week. They start this coming week.
Yeah. So we can check back in about how that went also, if we were able to follow along with those texts. So we'll let you know how it goes next month. When we think ahead to April, we'll also look back to March. So excited to share with you our progress.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
Our next segment is Easy Maker, where we share the things that make our lives easier.
Malika, you have a tech hack that's making things easier for you. What is it?
Okay, so recently I was thinking about my nighttime routine and how to make it better for bed. And I've mentioned before that Frasier is kind of a big non-negotiable part of my wind down every night. If it's not Frasier specifically, it's some other show, but it's almost always Frasier. And I know that there's a lot of advice against screen time before bed, particularly because of the blue light and how that affects your circadian rhythms. But I'm pretty committed to the screen time. And so it's not a habit that I'm wanting to change right now. So I was looking for some glasses to wear. And then I thought, there must be a setting on the phone or the tablet itself before I purchase glasses for this. And it turns out, of course there is. And it's pretty easy to find in the settings. So I adjusted my phone and now it automatically switches into night mode, which makes the light on the screen warmer. So it's kind of the same as if you were wearing blue blocker glasses, but it's just happening on the screen. And I did it on my computer and on my tablet. So now at 7:00, they just all switch over. And I just felt like a very easy thing that I just had never tapped into on the technology. If you have an iPhone, it's pretty simple. You go into settings and display and brightness. And then if you scroll down, there's a setting called night shift, and you can schedule it. You can manually turn it on or off. You can pick how warm the temperature of the screen is, so how it looks. And that one simple adjustment is a boost in the direction of better sleep hygiene.
You are so clever. You're talking about iPhone, so not sure about Android, but it probably have something similar. And I just followed along and did what you said. And they had a setting that was for sunset to sun up, basically. So I just chose that. And now I'm going to get better sleep because I'm not going to get all that blue light inside me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Very simple and hopefully makes a difference. It feels good anyway, knowing that that's switched.
And I asked you this before. Maybe I'll ask people who are smarter about technology, but it's a little different when you look at the screen when it's in the blue light filter mode. But why not just have it like that all the time? Maybe if it doesn't bother you too much. Why blue light? Why not just not have blue light? I'm a questioner, if you didn't know that. So I'm going to see if I can get to the bottom of that. But anyway, we know it's not good for getting ready for bedtime. And this is a huge, huge help. Thank you.
Let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll share our peaks and valleys.
We are back with peaks and valleys because in life, there are always peaks and valleys. Even episodes, I do a peak and Malika does a valley. This is an odd episode, so Malika, you're up first with a peak.
My peak is that this coming week is spring break at the university I work for. And I didn't think that meant anything for me because the staff, we still have work. But it turns out that we do have a lighter schedule and I have the option to work remotely next week. So a lot of the people in the office are using this as their vacation time. So it just made more sense to kind of close the office. Students are not going to be on campus. And so now I'm having a little bit of spring break energy. I'm going to be working from home, but I'm taking Monday off. And this isn't, as I'm saying it, it's like, that doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Like, okay, take a Monday off, Malika. What's the thing? But for me, this is the first day that I I think since I've started this job that I'm taking a day off, not because I'm sick or not because Indigo is sick. So it's my first like true personal day. And I'm so excited to do everything I've wanted to do
Okay.
all year long. Okay, I know I need to kind of temper my expectations. What can actually happen in a day? And it's not even a whole day, it's the working hours. But anyway, I'm quite excited to have a personal day just to clear the decks on some things, loose ends, if you will, on my own schedule.
I'm excited for you. I kept asking you about spring break and you were so sure that nothing was going to be different.
I know.
I know schools. Generally, schools, it's a little different. So having a surprise day off is even better. You weren't expecting it, that you were going to get to have this opportunity. So I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Azizi, what's your valley?
Okay. So it's been a hard couple of weeks. I've been in just some serious work mode since, I don't know, January, February, especially February and March are just always busy months for me. And that means that I've gotten behind with the show notes. So I apologize. If you have gone to our website looking for links, they have not been there since episode 20. And I am, yeah. I know. Maybe you didn't know that, Malika.
I didn't.
Just coming clean. It just happened so quickly, and now I am fighting my way back. So I'm episode 21 and 22 are up. By the end of the week, I hope to have them all up. I have spring break the week after that. So if there's anything left, that's what I'll be working on. So just a note to the listeners, the show notes are coming with all the links. I apologize for the delay.
Thank you for doing the show notes. And everybody, we can all wait.
Yes, I'm climbing out of the valley.
We'll all be okay. You've got a lot going on.
Yes, it was a lot all at once, but I'm excited to attend to this matter now.
Well, that brings us to the end. Azizi, let's leave on a happier thought. What are you going to try this week?
Well, I'm going to work on those notes for Happier Ladies. Malika, what are you going to do?
I went to watch The Greatest Night in Pop, the documentary.
Yes, I'll probably do that too.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you like us, rate, review, and tell a friend. And don't forget to follow us.
Send us a message at happierladies@gmail.com and tell us something you liked about Happier and Happier in Hollywood this week.
Our show was edited by Magnus Bjorgum, and our theme music was created by Wyatt Muncie.
And we also want to give a special shout out to Gretchen Rubin, Liz Kraft, and Sarah Fain for inspiring our conversation each week.
You can find us on Instagram at happierladies and on the web at happierladies.com, where you can find our show notes very soon.
Yes.
All right, Azizi. Have a happier week.
Have a happier week, Malika.
Bye.
Bye. So, why do I keep saying so?
We both do it all the time. It's a very common filler.
Interesting.
It is.
That's fascinating. All right. I'm going to try not to do that.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.